set you free. I don't know what I've been told. Music make you lose control. Work your body to the beat. Body work will set you free. I don't know what I've been told. Music make you lose control. Work your body to the beat. Body work will set you free. I don't know what I've been told. Music make you lose control. Work your body to the beat. Music make you lose control. Work your body to the beat. Body work will set you free. I don't know what I've been told. Music make you lose control. Work your body to the beat. Body work will set you free. I don't know what I've been told. Music make you lose control. Work your body to the beat. Body work will set you free. I don't know what I've been told. Music make you lose control. Work your body to the beat. Body work will set you free.
Okay, so that seems to be working. We're online. The video's working.
There you go.
We're
Excellent.
We're on the internet all over the place. I'm just gonna turn you down slightly, Maz. You're a little bit loud today. It's like you're more gravelly than usual. It's like you've swallowed some gravel.
No gravel swallowed, but I am very
Man, you should do all of your voiceovers right now. You know, all of those. He was a man. She was a woman. They met in a park.
you know what? The day will come where I will have a microphone that can pick up the wonderful, the actually exquisite bass of the voice.
I have to say, I'm being introduced on Zoom calls at the moment. And here's the man with the dulcet tones, DJ Joker. And then, of course, I'm thinking they have got no idea. I've got a velvety chocolate voice, obviously. But then if they heard you, I don't know how they'd introduce you opposed to what they just did. Do you know what I'm trying to say here?
I totally dig it. And it's kind of a funny thing. Also, Junior, as you've heard, has pretty much the same kind of penetrating baritone vibe. You know, dude, you could feel this through walls. I told you, I was sat on benches and you could feel my voice halfway down the bench, and people they get up and look, and it's like, no, I'm just like vibrating.
It's
Sorry,
just
man,
me talking.
Yeah.
This is the sound of my voice. But even lower.
I know that exactly. Go find that to play tonight, please. Yes, this is the sound of my voice.
You are hearing me talk.
Yes. Hopefully, succinctly, and to the point.
So we are all over the place on the internet this evening, ladies and gentlemen. Places like pscp.tv, that's right, /copy-me.
Periscope.
Get in. Periscope, yeah, that's a good one. D-Live, we like D-Live.
D-Live.
Mob Crush.
Mob Rush. Exactly. Yeah, one mind working together. Mob Rush, pretty impressive. And I was actually surprised by the Africa TV and the PC2 Live.
That's amazing. We were looking at this earlier, and we're being, obviously, the internet being that it's all over the world is fantastic.
Yes, yeah.
And every now and again, I get some really random people suddenly following me from the other side of the planet, and I often, you want to reach out and say, how did you hear about us, And but I find it difficult to get past the language barrier. But now we're kind of, as you say, over on is it Africa TV? Africa, I've lost it now.
Africa TV.
Africa.
Yeah.
Very clever. Play on words there.
Yeah. And SC2 Live also, we've had quite a good viewing. I would guess you would say
viewing
that.
Viewers.
But we don't get anything. But
using their eyes. Then it makes you wonder, does it? Are they just watching us?
The triangle and the number says a lot. So that's cool. You know.
Yep, we can go with that. There's no trouble there at all. So yeah, it's all good in the world of the internet, at least. Over on Spreaker, I'm still broadcasting there for Radio Vendetta. Although you'll never know, because of course they've had their Twitter page taken down, because I think they've been saying inflammatory remarks about governments or something. I don't know.
Something that somebody didn't like. But again, like we said last week, the internet is not what it used to be. It's not a platform.
True that.
If you could invent your own Twitter, then do what you want and have your friends and all that kind of stuff, which I actually would say that you should make your own communities, not on the mainline systems like Facebook, which can... listen, we've been posting on Facebook. The show last week was blocked, not even in the middle, and I couldn't even repost it to anywhere. So this already kind of says, at free speech. These are not places for free speech.
No. Well, there's been some controversy this week, hasn't there? That it's bad enough that Twitter and Facebook and others are taking down what you might consider as fake news, and that's fine. Disinformation is a bad thing. So if somebody says to you,
unless you're the government, again,
yeah.
There should be freedom of disinformation. Again, you want to be an idiot, believe what you like.
Yeah.
This is why the Darwin Awards. Every year without fail.
Exactly. No, I totally agree with that. But there's a little bit of uproar because actually there's a news story at the moment where something that factually actually happened, and then Twitter decided to take it down because they didn't like the cut of that jip. And you look at some of the horrendous shit that goes up on Twitter that they do nothing about. Nothing.
Nothing. No. Again, why would they? It's all in the issue of a, let's call it, misdirection kind of thing. Ooh, look at that, and then something else goes on the other way. But nobody, it's like a magic trick. I figured out magic tricks. Just watch the fucking magician. Don't just watch, and you will see everything if you watch.
Yeah.
It's called actually, between us, I'm sure this word is called paying attention. And 99% of the people don't know how to do it. Very easily distracted.
Yeah, no, I hear that. That's for sure. It's an odd situation where all of a sudden, though, that these big giant people are taking down people who are telling the truth, and then there's little old us just trying to have a bit of fun on a Sunday evening, and they're all kind of, ooh, you're playing someone's music, it might belong to someone, and we don't.
I should show you the week's worth of absolute spam I got from Facebook. It's I ain't going to argue with you about this right now, but I will not forget, and I will keep all those bans and all that shit, and one day I will have the time and the testicular fortitude, I'll fight you on every freaking one. It's just, what? Ridiculous. It's a secret nobody's supposed to know,
Yeah,
exactly. That two dudes hang out on the weekends, play a little bit of music and talk about it, which is okay, fair use if you don't want to be complicated. If you want to be complicated shit, man, I could throw down with the best of copyright lawyers, you know what I'm saying? I've done my homework.
That's the right thing to do, though. Be in control of your destiny. That's the secret here, I think.
You're a very wise man, and I don't see any control in any destiny that I've ever. And I've been around a little bit longer than you have. Control is not, one of the. It's more like being swept down a river that you've never been on in a raft. That's like, God just like beat the crap out of rocks, and you're just
Then
barely holding
in that case, buckle up, hold on, because we're
That's
going
what-
on a journey.
That's what Sundays are for, man. Just put your seatbelt on and hang on for the ride. Just like what? Yeah, yeah. We're very philosophical. I hope that people really, truly do understand the meaning of these inconsequential comments.
To be fair, it's really great. As you know, the old listen back is always a journey in itself, because there are many conversations that we have that I do not remember. I don't know what happens when I come into the booth and I sit down and I put the headphones on, and the next thing is, 2 hours have gone by and I go, cheerio, bye, I'm off. And then a couple of days later, I'm listening to it and thinking, what the
time.
hell?
Yeah, what'd you miss? I know. But that's why it's recorded, and this is why I want to try and get like what's going on, really, like the whole everything without the bannable part, or the bannable part really quiet. You know what I'm saying? Like a way to try and work it out so that more can be produced.
Yes.
Well, exactly with what I have, I mean, it would probably just be a nightmare just to try and line it up, but. You could help me by doing a couple of things, like a nice visible hand clap in front of the microphone. That's always good timing, Mark.
Hello. How are you?
Yeah, right. You need a noise, and listen, that's how we used to time all the gear on the video shoots. All the cameras point at somebody, and it's good enough. The hands go together, you make the noise, boom, synchronize. Let's go.
I don't think that the studio lighting in here is working. So look at this. Whoa. I've turned into one of the aliens from Cocoon. Do you remember that film from the 80s, Cocoon?
Yes, I remember that with the old people.
That's it, with the old people who got younger.
Right. Exactly. Okay, well, let's go kick the can. That was based off a Twilight Zone from the 50s. No, I swear to God.
I do not doubt that at all. What have we said before? There are no original ideas.
Amen, brother. Brother Joker is telling the truth, because he readeth and learneth from the history of the knowing of there's nothing new.
I want you to lay your hands on the screen now. Lay your hands on the screen with me.
Brothers and sisters. Yes, indeed.
I want you to feel the power of the truth coming through the camera at you right now. I want you to know the truth.
And then you will meet the cheeses.
We've got Gorgonzola. We've got cheddar.
Gorgonzola. Very good cheese to know. It's absolutely delicious.
It is. It is. Did I tell you about my cheese making kit that I got bought for either birthday or Christmas last year? And I did actually make some homemade feta cheese. It was lovely. It was lovely, but basically you get this pot. You get this huge pot, huge, and you fill it with lots of different types of milk, and you let it all kind of curdle down, and you take out the whey, and it's interesting stuff. And I ended up out this great big pot, and I kid you not, I mean it's like, I don't know,
I've seen them.
8-liter pot. I don't know. Huge. Anyway, you get like 4 little squares of cheese out of that. It's like this big.
There you go.
But I was so proud. I was so proud because I was like, do you know what? I made that.
Hey man, Star Farms has nothing on you. And Cara, forget it, man.
It's all good stuff. So let's play a track. We'll come back after this, and lots more nonsense and our I was going to say our observations on the human condition, but let's not go there.
Yes. No, it's perfectly. It's in the conditions of copyright. We could talk about that kind of stuff.
first time your eyes on mine, straight line, slow ride. Oh, how fast you moving up. Can't say fuck you after all. Guess it's clear now you're mine. Let me on when you're drunk and alone. 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 Let me on. Drunk and alone. Let me on. Drunk and alone. Where do you go? Drunk and alone. Let me on. Let me on. Way we go, way we go, the way we love and sang along. The way we dance, the way we touch, the way we dance, the way we touch. Drunk and alone, drunk and alone. Let me on, drunk and alone. Where do you go? Drunk and alone. Let me on, let me on. When you're drunk and alone.
When will I learn to stop making the same mistakes again? The same mistakes again for you. When will I learn to love my heart so it doesn't break again? No, doesn't break again in two. I should've known by now that I was always gonna come back around. Back in the day, you know you let me down. But maybe I finally figured you out. Cause you said that things would be different, but all that turns out to be fiction. Breaking dishes in the kitchen, working on glass plate. You say it's space that you need, and I say, well, fuck it, I'm leaving. But history keeps on repeating. When will I learn to stop me making the same mistakes again? Same mistakes again for you. When will I learn to love my heart so it doesn't break again? No, doesn't break again in true. When will I learn that I can do better? I can do better, much better than you. When will I learn to stop me making the same mistakes again? Over and over again, over and over again. I'm all out of new words to say. Running on empty out of reasons to stay. My friends told me it would go this way. They call me stupid when I say that you changed, but you said that things would be different, but all that turns out to be fiction. History keeps on repeating, keeps on repeating, keeps on repeating, keeps on repeating. When will I learn to stop me making the same mistakes again? Same mistakes again for you. When will I learn to love my heart so it doesn't break again? No, doesn't break again in true. When will I learn that I can do better? I can do better, much better than you. When will I learn to stop me making the same mistakes again? Over and over again, over and over again. I should know better.
around. You got me running all the lights. Don't make a sound, talk to me now. Let me inside your mind. Don't know what you're thinking, sugar. Ooh, but I just got that feeling, sugar. Ooh, and I can hear the sirens burning, red lights turning. I can't turn back now. So hold on tight. So hold on tight. Don't know where the lights are taking us, but something in the night is dangerous, and nothing's holding back the two of us. Baby, this is getting serious. Oh, 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 oh. The thing is dangerous. So hold on tight.
Okay, we're back. If you're watching us on a video stream, you'll have noticed that we were having a good old chin wag, as we like to call it. A good old chin wag there.
Yeah, chin wags.
And
Yeah.
yes, putting the worlds to right. And interestingly, talking about the fact that Maz would be a professor of Scientology or something if he could just be bothered to sit an exam.
Scientology. Evil madness, I say. It's madness.
I can't actually think of anything. Although all of my knowledge about Scientology actually comes from South Park, as does most of my knowledge, to be fair. In fact, most of my world views are based on South Park episodes. It's, I don't know what that's.
Since you should know the future by now.
I was gonna say, what does that say about me as a person? But there is a great episode
At
about
least
that.
you're not into the media, you know.
No, but also the media aren't into me, which I think is why I'm not rich and famous. So, you know, maybe that's where we're going wrong. I don't know.
I think Facebook has something to do with all of that.
This is true. We've got some shout-outs to put out, actually, talking about
Yes, we do.
that kind of thing. Who are we going to shout out to? Who? How about Tammy and Joss? Because I know they're listening. I've seen their post on the video. Hello, hi.
Then Janie Hudat, she reposted our video to her page. So, yo, Janie Hudat, as always.
That's really cool.
I'm sure Agent X is around someplace or other recuperating from his massive drowning of incredible memes the last show. Well, it takes work, man. It's not that simple. Work and dedication.
That's the intro to Record Breakers with Roy Castle.
Yeah, right. Listen, it's all a game of money. I kind of figured it out when I really looked into this stuff. So if you have something original, you got to buy a number, and then the number's recognized by other people, and you're gonna got to pay them and show them your number, a proof that you paid, and then you got to pay them, and then they send it to somebody else who says, "Hey, buddy, you got a number. That's cool. Pay me this."
Yeah.
And then you get to go on iTunes and all that kind of crap. And I mean, if you got the money, it's absolutely ridiculous. Like, if anybody thinks that if they, if all this kind of crap doesn't cost like ridiculous amounts of money, it's not funny.
Yeah.
Even just to buy a license to be able to play some shitty freaking artists, that nobody wants to listen to. Well, truth, like other radio stations do. We've been on the air 24/7, 365 days, and we don't pay royalties because nobody wants to listen to this music.
No, definitely. Bear with me a second. I'm just putting the words to rights on a website and just making sure that they...
Here, I see FC Live. We got at least one live popper. Facebook, Twitch, not so much. But it's hard to believe the feedback you get off of one place that sees a lot of stuff. Come on, cat.
God damn you, cat. Come on. Come on.
This is like, I'm begging, please. Just like one bite. It's just like, oh, wow. Well, I've been hand feeding the cat every shit. Wow. For 5-6 weeks already. And I should be resting and getting sleep. Instead, I get like swamped with odious crapola.
That's cats for you.
Yes. Well, no, it's not cats. Well,
although a funny story.
I could call it like generally. I could call it creatures with vaginas. So I'll put it in that category. To be honest, I mean seriously. Please tell me a story, Uncle DJ Joker. I love your stories.
Well,
make my
this is an interesting one.
so-
So I went to somebody's house the other day, and basically I was told, oh, make sure you close the door behind. The cats had a procedure. So I was like thinking, oh, okay, yeah, no problem. Don't let the cat out. Obviously if they've had a, in inverted commas, procedure.
But this is. I'm like, oh man, I'm already on the cliff.
Yeah. So I was like, okay, yeah, no problem at all. I'll make sure that your cat never leaves this property over my dead body, as my word is my bond.
Amen.
Yeah.
That's your
I put on my chivalrous shield, and I took out my sword and I said, "Milady, no problem." Anyway, so I'm there doing my thing and doing what I do, and at the end, then the cat comes over to me. Cats are attracted to me. Don't ask me why. I must smell of catnip or something. And cat comes over and gives me the little purr, and I was like, oh, a bit cautious about smoothing the cat because it's had a procedure. And I'm thinking, right, okay, and so I look up and I say, oh, so what's the cat had done? Oh, she's had her teeth cleaned. What do you mean?
You people. I swear, that ain't even a procedure. You gotta cut the cat open.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? It's like, what the fuck?
I'm thinking it's like had an intestine unraveled or something, or its leg bloody sawn off, or.
I have a better one for you. The cat had a procedure. It used to be a dog.
Now there's a procedure.
This is what I'm saying. That's a teeth
The dog got up in the morning and said, "I'm a cat trapped in a dog's body. Please help me."
Exactly. That's the procedure. Free me, but put my bollocks back on. I still miss licking them.
They had
Yeah.
they had to pretend for 3 years to be a cat before they would actually perform the operation. I don't know where we're going with this now. Whoa.
Not only that, they had to talk to
Whoa.
the vet twice a week and take medication for a very, very long time.
That is a bizarro situation.
I can't believe people like that. Again, that is the type of person. What the fuck is going through your mind to overdrown it? And you know what? I will take a bet that a female even said that. Because if a dude said that, you should have smacked him after finding out the cat had its teeth cleaned.
I'm not. I mean, I don't even know what. I mean, you know, what veterinary
How to get
surgeon
you in
said.
trouble with your friends.
When you take the cat home, make sure the cat doesn't leave the property under any circumstances, because obviously its teeth are so shiny now, it will slip off of food. I just don't even understand where that would go.
The rats would get away. That's how smooth they are. Yeah. We don't want to sully the palate with rodent fur again, do we? Wow. Well, I mean, not to insult your friends, but I mean, really?
Oh, no, please
And
do. I
bet
do
you
it all
was
the time.
It was a female, and I'll bet you it was a female that said that. And if not, it should have been.
No, it was. It was.
It was. Just gee, how would I know that?
Yeah.
Just the misogyny bell rings again.
It's almost like you have some kind of inner voice that tells you these things.
It's a disease. No, it's a symptom. This is what I'm trying to say. It's a disease and a symptom and should be treated like such, because you know what? 99% of that population has that same disease. I'm sure Secret Agent, man, a comic book name, knows exactly what I'm talking about and probably doesn't have one because he's a secret agent and his life is just like absolutely so fucking cool. So he was the lucky one that found the 1%. Very rare.
Well, there we go. There we go.
Absolutely.
I've got a question.
Yes, sir.
I've got a question. Can we embed a clickable link into the video that people can click to find us over at Discord, which is an amazing platform and I love it so much, but we just don't seem to get anyone else coming across there. I think that people listening would enjoy that if we could make that happen.
I wanted to try something, and I'm gonna have to close a bit down right now. I'm gonna try and get the address off of the XSplit that I did, and you can have actually the chat room running on the side of the screen, along with that black box, which is from all the networks that can chat via the restream. And let me just you go do your magic, and I'll go try and dig this up. I might have done it on the laptop, but I'll see what happens.
See what happens. Okay, in that case, let's do the 1, 2, 3 break, and run out of the room, and then do our thing, as you say, do our magic, which will all be good.
And I'll try and find where we can do that, but I think you might have to update something in the XSplit.
That'd be something. That'd be something for next week then. If we've got to update, XSplit will just go because that's what it always does when I try to update something on this computer.
Okay, well, no, I think it has to connect to the Discord thing, which talks to the XSplit. That adds a file to the XSplit that then you could put whatever you want, or what style of chat box, transparent, what color the letters, and all that kind of stuff.
Ooh, sounds
and
posh.
it is cool when you have people in the Discord. You can have it running on the screen, and I don't know if it does pictures though, but it does icons and stuff like that.
And the old text bits, I'm sure.
Yes.
Let's try that then. Okay, let's play some music. It is 7:41. Mazanga and DJ Joker on the decks for the next 2 hours up until 9 p.m. And then after that, nothing. Just silence. It's dead. Because because right now we're not affiliated with anyone other than ourselves. So take it or leave it. There you go.
There you go.
Everybody wants to get down like that.
I didn't know we weren't live because hey, man, you got the button. It's hard for me to
No,
see you
look,
because
look,
I hate your top-down angle. No.
The blue. Look,
the
I'm pointing.
side angle.
Stop arguing and listen, right?
Okay,
The
I see it.
see the blue button. Watch.
Yes,
Everyone,
I see.
I know you guys have all tuned in to listen, but just wait, bear with us a second whilst we deal with this argument. Right, look. It's
Now
on.
It's on.
Okay.
Okay, now.
So
Now, if I could explain the editorial part of what I'm saying, okay, the camera used to be at a different angle, so I could anticipate you going and hitting the blue button before you even hit the blue button or even thought about hitting the blue button.
You know what I've got a nasty
That's
habit of doing? I've got a nasty habit of doing this, haven't I?
You have your hand on there, so again, but you from the side angle you could see, all right, man, there we go, we're going for the blue button, and that's all. You know.
Right. Why were we going live again? There was a reason for us going live. We were going to talk about something. And it wasn't that. It was only because you started being a little bitch about the blue button.
The blue button's all important, man.
Anyway, everyone who's
Well,
watching
we're
now,
talking about deserving and treating yourself well and
There's the
ordering
blue button.
out and sushi. and
we were just about to talk about what tier you're in if you're in the UK at the moment, or if you're in England, I should add.
yes, tier.
Yes, what tier you're in. So I'm in tier 1, which is the master race of England. Then you have tier 2, who are kind of like, they're okay.
People.
They're okay, but you wouldn't invite them around for dinner. And then there's the tier 3 people who are the lepers of the English colony right now, and we don't want anything to do with them. In fact, Wales have decided that this is really important. Okay, people in Wales have said, if you're in tier 3 or tier 2, don't even bother coming to our country, because we won't let you in, even though there's not a hard border and there's no way of them telling. And they've only got, by my count, because I was in Wales yesterday, 4 policemen. That's literally how many policemen they have to police that particular thing. So yeah, there's lots of different rules around it, but basically, if you're in tier 1, you're okay. Yeah.
About. But what makes you okay or not okay? This is what I fail to understand. And
it's
they
all
closed for 10 o'clock at tier 2 and 12 o'clock tier 3.
if you're in
made no
tier
sense
3,
of it.
game over. You ain't going to the pub in tier 3. You're not getting an alcoholic beverage in a pub. Not happening. Unless
Do you have a tattoo on your forehead?
Yeah,
Or
yeah.
How would you know that anybody's anything like? This is what I'm trying to figure out.
Right, so it's done by area. So tier 3 areas, mostly north of the country, although some potential areas happening in London, because London being a closer knit population. So there are lots of tier 2 places in London right now. You're not allowed to mix with other people in your house. You're not allowed to have other people around you don't know, which I think is a given anyway, but apparently they're a bit weird elsewhere in the country. But tier 1, we're all on rule of 6. We're allowed to hang around in gangs of 6 when we go out, and as long as we stick in those gangs of 6, then we're okay. But if we go to 7, that's when we'll all die of coronavirus. That's kind of the rule.
I get you. Do you guys like have jackets? We are the 6 or something like that for the gang.
We talked about this the other day. Oh look, I've got one of my cameras has got coronavirus apparently.
Yeah, I just talked shit about your camera.
Yeah, there you go. It hasn't done that for weeks and weeks and weeks. You talk shit about it, and it's like having a little hissy fit now.
See, put the camera at the angle, man. I like to see you reach for that button.
Yeah, so people are prohibited from socializing with anybody they do not live with or who have not formed a support bubble with in any indoor setting, private garden, or at most outdoor hospitality venues and ticketed events. So that's what that means.
So that would like exclude drug dealers and known prostitutes then.
Well, yes, mostly.
Ridiculous law I've ever heard of. This is and are the tiers because of like how many people are sick with the coronade?
It is, yep. So
like you would say a tier 3 place, they're like everybody got the cooties, and the tier 1 is the people who wear the rubbers.
That's a very oversimplified way of putting it, but bang on.
Well, I just like to understand things simply, but okay, so it goes to deal with the infection and stuff like that.
Yeah, it's to do with the rate of infection in that area is higher, and more people are suffering in those areas, and so that's the reason why. So, all seriousness, I'm kind of on the fence a little bit about this, about whether is it the right thing to do or not, because there's 2 or 3 trains of thought on this. Number 2, I suppose, the strong contender for number 2 right now is that we're going into another national lockdown. But because we're all scared of the word lockdown, we're now calling it a circuit breaker. So we'll have a 2-week circuit breaker, which basically means we're being locked down for 2 weeks again.
It's been like that for a month plus around here.
Yeah, precisely. Well, we've had that at the beginning of March. We've just come out of it all. And now we're all being told off for going out and enjoying ourselves, basically.
No, again, this all kind of goes back to like the freaking Spanish flu in the 1900s, where like everything they did was the same, and the only protection you had was a mask. And people were like, a mask? And it's like exactly the same thing. But today people are like absolute idiots.
Yep, no, precisely. And I think that's part of the problem. I mean, one of the things for me was that obviously the Welsh government said no English people from tier 2 or tier 3, and yet the reason they're in such trouble is because a lot of their own population didn't follow the
tier
rules.
They're tier 4. Tier 1 wheels.
I've just seen that Tam is also a member of the Master Tier 1 race, as we're now being known. So yeah, go Tier 1.
So like little, we would call it bumfuck nowhere villages that everybody is like far enough away from each other, right?
Well, that's slightly unfair, but I'll give you that, to be fair.
I could put it another way. And you know, when the English were going through the deserts of Asia and Africa, they came upon the Bedouin, and they're asking the Bedouin, well, what's this place called, and what's this place called, and what's this place called? And the Bedouin got so absolutely sick of these stupid Englishmen asking him, what name is this called? Do you call this the prophet's ass in English? And till this day, it's written the prophet's ass mountain. So it's like, yeah, okay.
I think they did that. I've told you before about the local river is called the River Avon, and of course,
yes, Avon.
Avon is the word for river.
The famous one.
Yeah,
yes.
and so of course it's technically called River because somebody was too stupid to work out. When someone said, "What's that called?" They went, "Avon," and they went, "Oh, it's the River Avon." Yeah. Yep. And in Arabic it would be said Tizal Nabi. It's the prophet's ass. There we go. So the River Avon's prophet ass. That's
water and the prophet's ass. Yes. So how do you walk around your new Nazified society of grades of human disease, maladies, and sicknesses? Do you have an ID card that says,
"Oh no,
dear sir,
don't get me started
I'm
on
the
that.
Majesty's number 1. I am rated number 1. You cannot do this."
They were talking about. So here's the first thing. The first thing is that we're all supposed to be masked up, which it's not too bad if you've got something like this. It does the job. But there are people who just don't wear a mask because they're exempt, and there can be many reasons for exemption. And then there are many people also not wearing masks because they're assholes.
Well, I don't wear a mask because you can't smoke and wear a mask at the same time. So I try and smoke as often as I can when I'm outside, but I do have a mask holding my beard.
So, and we also have the 2 meter rule, and we also have the 1 meter rule. So we've got those rules all going on as well.
A 1 meter rule is a kick in the ghoulie until we get back to the 2 meter rule.
That's it. So,
how does that one work?
So if you're out in the street and you see another human being and you're not masked up, then that's it. You're 2 meters. You've got to get 2 meters away from each other. If you're wearing a mask, you can actually get a little bit closer. You can get within a meter range of that person is what they call 1 meter plus. There is some form of other protection going on. You see? So that's
just like staying away from them, period. Like,
that's probably the best. That's probably the best piece of advice.
That would be the best thing to do. Just like stay away. Yeah.
So
this is very weird.
Yeah. So those are the.
But you don't have a
main things.
card, or like the cop will be like, "Oh yeah,
No.
you live in like that," and he knows it's like area number 1 or something like that.
No. So people who are exempt from wearing masks can send off voluntarily for a lanyard, and this lanyard that they wear is a particular color. Let's just say it's yellow. I don't know. Okay, but let's just say it's yellow.
Oh, is it in the size of the Mogen David, and does it say Jew on it also?
Well,
this is very interesting.
This was my thought immediately. It's like, hang on a second, we are identifying people by a distinguishing mark, and the last time that we did that as a human race, we were very horrible people, and we all should have known right then that something was up. So,
absolutely.
I'm not a great believer in that particular thing. My mantra, I suppose, is you're not wearing a mask. Fine. I'm going to assume that you're not able to wear a mask, otherwise you would, because I don't believe that anyone in the world walks around trying to be an asshole on purpose. So fine. I just leave those people alone. But
You are a very honorable man, because I expect everybody to be a fucking asshole on purpose.
That's the
You
thing.
know what I mean?
Because the next thing is that you're walking down the street and you just see someone not wearing a mask for 2 minutes, and people are screaming on them. And Tammy's just put up actually that she's got a lung disease, so she's exempt in a shop, but not on her bus. And she has to pay for the exempt lanyard. So there you go. These are things that I'm not aware of. So you've got this lanyard to identify yourself, basically, so people don't give you a hard time because you're not wearing a mask. And fundamentally, something feels wrong about that. I don't know.
Fucking insane.
Yeah. So like you
That
said,
is absolutely insane. Not only that, data protection in your medical records, it's absolutely nobody's business why you have an exemption, to be
Absolutely.
honest. Like, a cop can't even ask you. So why should you have to buy a lanyard?
it is
Because,
literally
again,
to
your
stop.
medical information is private.
Yeah.
And they go fuck themselves.
Yeah, it is literally to stop other people being pissed off. That's the only reason you do it, because, to be fair, it's horrible. It is absolutely horrible.
Crap.
You walk into somewhere and because you're exempt, and people look at you and is like, they're carrying the COVID.
But instead of that lanyard, I'd put a yellow star or David and write Jew on it, and big right fucking bold on my t-shirt saying I ain't wearing the stinking lanyard. You know, it's like, oh, that is like the most insane and oh man. Wow. I can't believe.
Say that is one of the most disturbing things about this, and I mean, I like you, and it's really quite funny, because sometimes we are so on the same page. Like you, the first
We're
thing I
always
said,
on the same page, except you're just busy, man. That's the only difference.
I looked up and I said, "Hey, this reminds me of something. Why lanyards? Why not little yellow stars? That would be nice, won't it? Everyone's wearing a little yellow star. What a lovely little thing they can wear." No.
That is like, oh my god.
Yeah. So
And you know what? As a person with lung disease, you know what? There are masks that do help, and I would also, if I had like a problem, I would be scared of other people. You know what I mean?
yeah, no doubt. I definitely hear that. So anyway, you asked the question. You've been bored shitless now for the last 10 minutes whilst we've been talking about this.
No, it's been very interesting, and it relates to a lot of civil liberty issues and absolutely ridiculous stuff that, first of all, we're not even talking common sense. We're talking your rights and your freedoms, first of all. So, I mean, how I get about that.
Yeah.
But that was I didn't understand anything about that. And that is absolutely insane, especially that lanyard issue.
Yeah.
Which is like, tattoo it on my fucking forehead,
Yeah, exactly. And so initially, as someone who doesn't have any issues, my first thought was, well, actually, everyone should just wear a mask, and that's the end of it. And it's not too soon to start realizing, well, hang on a second, there are people who can't for whatever reason. And so you think to yourself, well, how is this going to work? And then when someone explains it to you, you're kind of like, well, actually, no, I'd rather just be that person who assumes that they have to do that for a reason, basically. I'm just trying to find whilst we're talking, see if we can just share a screen across over on screen number 2. Yeah, that seems to work somehow. Let's get this into
DJ Joker badass.
Not a day goes by where I don't think
Okay,
about it.
there we go. Right, so here we go. Tier 1. All businesses and venues not shut by current law can continue to operate. Yay!
Anyway,
There's a 10 p.m. curfew, though. We're not allowed out after 10 o'clock.
I
That's,
saw that yesterday in the live thingy, that they were actually like being very abusive, getting people out of restaurants and in places like that.
yeah, I mean, basically, I mean,
But I mean, why would you ever want to fucking go to a place that's like so full of fucking people in it? This is what I
oh yeah, I don't
just
understand. It's
understand.
for me, and I'm showing my age now, sonny boy. But I think that's a young person thing. They want to get out. They want to enjoy themselves. And at 10 o'clock, they get turfed out onto the street. Guess what they do? They party in the street, because that's what kids
Well,
do.
I know that, but again, the sickness and disease, the longer people do stupid shit, the longer it stays around. It took the Spanish flu over a year and a half back then in the day of boat travel to stop.
But that's because
A year and a
that's because
half.
the Spanish flu couldn't speak English. If it spoke English, it would have been fine.
It learned a few words. It said, "I screw you, white boy."
So the good thing
know?
is gyms can stay open, and a rule of 6 still applies. Weddings and funerals can go ahead, but with current restrictions. Now here are some current restrictions for
And
you.
not on Fridays at 2:30 in the afternoon.
You
We
got it,
learned
mate.
that from your uncle.
You got it. So, what's the thing with weddings? I'm going to get this wrong right. I think if you're at a wedding, you can have 15 people turn up, and if you're at a funeral, you can only have 6. It's something ridiculous like that. I don't know the exact rule, but it may be the other way around. Don't quote me on that, but it is ridiculous. Then you've got tier 2, which you must not mix with other households. Or Bubbles indoors. Poor Bubbles, he never gets any fun, does he?
After, I'm just a question. After you read this list, is there like a map of all these places?
But you know what? Let's have a look. Let's discover that together.
Finish the list first, but then we'll remember to go take a look.
Yeah,
and
we will.
see a map.
And then oh yeah, in tier 2, reduce the number of journeys made where possible. So it's the old work from home, don't go out unless you absolutely need to, blah blah blah. And in tier 3,
Fired.
Tier 3 is the one which is the killer, so pubs and bars must close. There's no curfew, there's no pubs or bars open, full stop. Wedding receptions are banned, so you can get married, but no wedding reception. Households and bubbles cannot mix inside or outside. Rule of 6 applies outside, and avoid travelling outside the local area. Avoid overnight stay in other parts of the UK. And local authorities to decide on whether to close the gyms, casinos, leisure centres and other businesses. They've left that to the local guys to work out. Is there a map? Let's have a look.
I would think that this is like blatantly freaking racist, not by color or anything, it's by where you live.
Yeah, no, absolutely, yeah.
You know?
Yeah, no, it is. I mean, as I say, it's mostly Northern England who are mostly affected with the Tier 3 restrictions.
They never the north anyway, you know that?
Yeah, and but there's a conspiracy then, because the South hate the North, and that's why they're doing it.
It's always been like that, and you know that it has been. You get what I'm saying? Even the government acts like that. You know that they used to take over, and there used to be some cool dudes that I admired called the IRA, and that kind of straight people. You know, and I remember the good old days.
Oh, here we go. That looks like quite a decent one to look at. Open image new tab. Oh yeah, that's awesome. That's like, what's it? An image for ants. Brilliant.
Clusters. But I mean, you would think that people would know better, but fuck, they're idiots. It's again, you know, I'm like so surprised that, you know. Today I went out, I got some fresh rolls, I got some fresh this, I'm freaking out. I touched the fucking door with the wrong hand. I'm like, all right, man, we're chopping everything off as soon as we get in the door. No, I got my deal, because again, Junior, he always busted my ass. He's like, you know, you're part of the group that's in danger, and you know, I know that you don't go out and shit like that, but when you do, you got to be careful, because I'm like, you know, just another day, I don't know, Corona, yeah, you know what I mean? It's not really relevant in my life unless I meet a stranger that's knocking on my door or something like that. That looked like a chicken.
Yeah, this is a picture of some fried chicken that it closely resembles the UK, so we're going to use that. Parts of the UK not listed, just for your information, are Wales and Scotland, and indeed Ireland, because that's a whole different island, but they're not listed on here at all. This literally is what it's like in England at the moment, and you can see the darker patch up here. This is your tier 3 people, so that's your people you need to avoid at all costs, and all of these red people.
And London would be down at the bottom towards the tail,
here.
if I'm not mistaken, unless the map's backwards.
No, just here. Look, my mouse is on it for you, making it easy.
Okay, the map is backwards for me. Okay.
Yep. So there's London, and there's the blown up. So that's like, that is that. I think that is that.
Yeah. Gotcha.
Yep.
Gotcha.
So, tier 1 master race. We're all over this yellow place here. Yep. Happy days. Although down here, although it does say it's tier 1, technically these people are tier 0 because they just don't have a major problem down there at all.
You know what? If I had the ass for it, I would want to get the public information on how much money they're making off of that fucking SAS shit, who makes it, and if there any, because it has to be a government contract involved in there, so it would be public information, and then you get some numbers, and I'll bet you people stop buying that shit. Learn how to say fuck off. It's none of your business. Get away. Achoo! Get away from me.
Yes. So there you go. So have I fully explained enough what the
That was absolutely awesome, and now I get it. So tier 2 areas, everybody got their own rules.
There you go.
Until everybody dies.
Until everybody dies, yeah, basically. I mean, the great. I really should do this I could do this like a news presenter, can't I? And just I should be looking into the camera and giving the whole of.
Oh yeah,
so,
but
this is how
I
it's going to
didn't
affect
get
you.
Music. You need ticker tape kind of thingy music like in the old days. Dun da da da.
Yeah.
You know.
Pathé
like
news
the old
reels.
BBC kind of thing. More like the old Walter Cronkite type. I see you as.
I always prefer the so what's going on in England today? Well, if you are out in the sun, you're going to need an umbrella right now. That kind of thing.
Circa 1930s, 40s informational kind of pre-movie thingies. Yes. I could dig that. I know where you're coming from.
I think that works out quite nicely.
Yes.
That kind of feel to it. Avoid the coronavirus at all costs. All you need to do is wear this mask. Even little Johnny's having a go. Well done, Johnny.
Yes, I've seen those, I swear to God, and they amuse the hell out of me. The 50s-ish kind of thing is at the people at the beach. Oh, there we go. Having a good family time together. And the boys have a separate changing room than the girls. Look at the girls frolic. Yeah, I absolutely, yes.
I imagine the only trouble is that we have all these great ideas, and then when I have a quick search, somebody's already done it. Someone's already done it.
Well, it all depends on how they done it, but I'm sure everybody brings their own little special thing to the mix. Everybody does it their own little way. And we are quite entertaining. I mean, if you take the time and actually listen and care and,
Well, yeah, this is true. This is true.
We talk about relevant subjects and totally irrelevant subjects.
And sometimes we talk about stuff that even we don't know what we're talking about.
We do try. Generally in the beginning of the show, and then we get hot and be totally ignorant. Like, no, everything's up. All right, man.
Yeah, no. I'm looking at the moment, and I'm not seeing an obvious link. So that maybe this could be a thing then. I did see a public information film about coronavirus where they had. This goes back to an old 80s public information film about stranger danger, basically. And it was see that man over there. Well, he's a stranger. Well, they'd overdubbed it, and it was see that man over there. He's got coronavirus. When you see someone with coronavirus, you should, and then they literally go through this really ridiculous thing on what you should do with coronavirus, So I've seen that one, and I thought that was quite good, because that was right on the money as well. And they were ringing, dialing the old police phone and everything, and going, "Hello, I've just seen some coronavirus down on the street, and he came up to me and tried to give me coronavirus."
And they have. But did they actually have the oldie time pictures of people back then and just blah blah blah, and
it was
they're like this. All right, cool, respect. Because I sent you a file. I even forgot the freaking name. It was this English dude that I told you, man. You watch it, and it's a pisser. And there are another two of them, and it was absolutely the funniest thing. Especially when he talks to Welsh people, because then he has to translate what they're saying, and it has the most. It's the. I'm telling you, you get a pisser out of it, and you gotta find the other two episodes. But yeah, something like that. Thoroughly enjoyable using old footage with new ideas in it. I really do enjoy that kind of stuff.
Right, so if I remember correctly.
And you would enjoy that short clip that I sent you. It's probably 20 minutes. I don't know. I cleaned up the folder, but it's probably still in there.
Okay. Right. Remember what we talked about? When I show videos, you have to be quiet because otherwise it gets confusing for the other listeners who are trying to listen to what I'm showing them. So hang on a second. Full screen this. He's
Do you
trying.
see the thumb?
I've broken it. Oh, there it is. Shh. Be quiet. Don't talk.
Coronavirus is a deadly coughing disease that hangs about in the air and is passed from person to person. You must always stay alert, and if you feel like you can sense coronavirus, get indoors, fast. If you're away from home, drop face first to the ground. In this position, the only cavity exposed is the anal duct, and that should not pose a problem so long as you're wearing trousers. When you're back inside, clean your hands with a strong disinfectant, and stockpile as many antibacterials and toilet rolls as you can. You'll be needing these. If you don't have an indoor toilet, cut a hole in your favorite chair and stick a bucket underneath. If you don't have chairs, dig a hole for yourself somewhere inside the house. During a coronavirus outbreak, anyone you see could be a carrier. This includes your teacher, your local policeman, even the nice couple you meet down the park. You'd think you'd always be safe with nice men like these who like to hang around children's playgrounds. This man looks nice.
Oh, there, you can't catch me.
But look a bit closer. He's a carrier. You probably feel safe inside a car, but even a car can be a carrier. If you cough on a car, that car becomes a carrier, which is why scientists now sometimes refer to the coronavirus as the car owner virus.
Hello, young lady.
This girl doesn't know it, but if she gets into the car, she'll become a carrier.
No, thank you.
Janet, would you like to know why you shouldn't have gotten into that car? It could have put you in great danger.
You mean sort of like when Johnny hits me and pulls me, my hair, when we have a row?
No, it could have given you a deadly virus.
You mean do something rude to me?
No, not like that either, but you should go home now before you cause any more trouble. Carriers come in all shapes and sizes, so it's important when you're out and about to note down anyone you see coughing or wheezing.
Hey, what you doing? Taking that man's number. Who do you think you are, the Sweeney or something? Shut up, it might be serious.
When you return home, immediately call the police and notify them of any person you've seen who you think is or might be a carrier.
Oh man, I've just got to point that out because that old rotary dial phone there, man, that kind of takes me back. You know,
I
dialing
was
the.
scared to say something, not to get beaten to death. But yeah. Sorry, the exchange you have requested is now busy.
Exactly. And then you have to hang up and redial the bloody thing again. It's a wonder we don't have arthritis in our fingers. I'm telling you. There's about a minute left, Maz.
And, had brown eyes.
Hi there, little girl.
What
What's your
sort of coat
name?
was he wearing?
I can't really remember because he was inside all the time.
I see.
It's actually unlikely that coronavirus will affect us for at least, I'd say, 50 years. And it's important to remember that the world will be very different in half a century's time. Nursing, for instance, will be almost unrecognizable. They certainly won't be muddling around with these old gadgets. We expect hospitals will look something like this. And our world
Oh,
leaders won't be human
UFO.
beings. They're more likely to look like this. Ultra-intelligent supercomputers,
That's the one when they
processing
turned them
vast
into an
quantities
alien.
of information faster than any human mind. So with these men in charge, coronavirus should be stopped in its tracks in no time. Are you ready, Hugo?
We're all set here, sir.
So there you go. That was the public information film I was just telling you about that I managed to find.
That was one of my most favorite shows, and if you didn't notice, some of our pictures are actually of their studio sign. I bet you didn't know that. You didn't watch UFO?
I did. It wasn't my favourite thing though. That was more Buck Rogers was more my thing.
Dude, that UFO, if you watch it, it was absolutely badass. and like just everything that they did in it, and the models and stuff like that, especially those green aliens. And it was all from like a movie studio that was, you know what? Actually, I'm sure I'm just like telling you something that you already know because you work there and you're not allowed to say anything.
It's all
I'm
great.
sorry.
It's all great stuff. Right, okay, so we're being scolded now because apparently we're not playing any music. So let's do that for a few minutes.
Tam, don't get in trouble with Tam.
Yeah, because we forget it's playing music and talking nonsense, not talking nonsense and occasionally playing music. But
Sometimes it goes this way, sometimes it goes that way, but I guess now it's playing music time.
it is playing music time. Let's do that for a while, and we'll catch you on the other side of a few tracks.
I'm all chickened out. No, just
Right.
kidding.
So we decided to come back on and talk because we know that you guys love the sound of our voice so much, and
Or not.
yeah, or not, as the case may be. Unfortunately, Maz has just worked out. We're all talked out now. We've got nothing to talk about, so I don't even know why we've gone live.
No, I just threw that at you, you know. Boom, let's be professionals. Find something to talk about, and we probably will in 1 second.
It doesn't usually take too long, does it? Really?
No, it doesn't. No, it
usually,
doesn't.
usually a little look through the old social media pages, and you kind of go.
I
"Ah."
actually just saw the another SpaceX satellite blast off not a couple of hours ago. And I would be really interested in wherever I go to try and uplink or hook up to one of those satellites and see what actually you can do off of one, to be honest.
Sure. Okay. Well, what?
Listen, internet bill, you got your internet bill, and I do it over a phone line, so I know exactly how much legal security I have doing it over my phone line and not like, over the Wi-Fi or through the TV cable. And
Yeah.
they say the speeds are like 100 megabit download, so I wonder like how massive your upload might be able to be. I mean, it should be quite a free-flowing system.
You would have thought so. Here's a question for non-Brit friends, though. This is by British Biscuit over on Twitter. Non-Brit friends, if I said I was having toad in a hole for dinner, what am I having? Do you know what this is, Mash? Do you know what toad in the hole is?
You want me to give it up, or you want me to like give an answer to somebody who doesn't know?
Well, give an answer. Well, first of all, do you know? Because if you know, then great. But if you don't, then
Yes, I know, and I know all about spotted dick and a whole bunch of other obscene things that you people love to put.
Ooh.
Yes, you put weird things in your gobs. You put toads in the hole in your gob, and you put spotted dick in your gob.
You'd be amazed what
Which
we'll
is
put in our
another
mouth.
English term that
Yes.
I know, which would be gob.
Gob.
Which comes from gob because it comes from I forgot one of the comedians that used to work with some of the Monty Python guys. He tells somebody to shut your festering gob, you tit.
Yes.
And I've always loved that line. So yes, I am very Britishly educated
Well
in
done.
my verbiage.
Okay, so
Yes.
we're not gonna trick you with things. What about DAPs? Do you know what a DAP is?
DAP?
Mm.
DAP.
Yeah, DAPS. Plural. There's a clue.
I know DAP. DAP used to be a German fuel oil refinery, but I don't know what. This is what
See,
comes to my head.
I've got you now because not only
Oh, I'm
is
sure you do.
not only I threw that in on purpose because that's not only an English thing, but it is primarily I didn't know this until very recently. Primarily a Bristolian thing as well. We used to have plimsolls in PE, in
I
school.
know of Plum.
Yeah.
I've heard of that before.
So we used to refer to those as DAPs. And we used to have a pair of DAPs. That's what they were called. We all called them DAPs. Everyone I went to school with called them DAPs. Even people now where I live call them DAPs. You go outside of Bristol and say, "Oh, look, a pair of DAPs," and they're like, "Ah, what are you talking about, you strange person?"
I like that. It reminds me of that dirty name again that comes from a certain place. Dollop or something like that. It was like absolutely fun. It means bell end or knobhead and other.
Those
other
are all
cool
places in
stuff.
the UK as well. Most of them are in Tier 3 right now.
Tier 3, yes, that's where all the knobheads and the bell ends are. Yes. It was also like an area kind of word, and I even looked it up, and it was absolutely the funniest thing. And I even sent you a message. I learned something new today, and a curse word and what it means. It was very funny. I can't remember it. I hate that. I love learning new dirty words. Yeah, especially if they're specialized. You know what I'm saying?
I can't help you with that because you know more than me. So
tick time. You think you're old. Here, Sonny. Back in the old days, There were no skirts to look up. Yeah, that's how old I am.
Blimey, limey, blimey, limey. Right.
I'm
Okay.
Astonished about that area kind of thingy and all the laws and rules, and why don't they just like tell everybody stay the freak home if you don't have to like
One of the good
be
things
with
you've
don't.
got national government that's telling these areas to lock down. And I don't know if things have changed today because I've not caught up with the news, but basically they said, I think this is Manchester. They said to Manchester, guys, you're in tier 3. The mayor of London went. The mayor of Manchester went. No. And no, what do you mean no? No, we're not going to go into tier 3 because we're not happy about it. Well, it's great you're not happy about it, but guess what? We're in charge, so you go into tier 3. No, we're not happy about it. We've had a word with the council. They're not happy about it either. So, no, we're not doing tier 3. And like, what the hell planet are you on?
Yeah.
But that's
I was even gonna throw in a hair joke. Manchester, England, from across the sea. But
Oh.
yeah, that is absolutely insane stuff. To be honest, that like, why should everybody not be under the same conditions, and that's it. And then the government has to figure out how to pay the people their paychecks and all that kind of crap. You know what I mean? I mean, the government is there to regulate business.
yes.
That's why they took over India, and that's why they took over Canada, and that's why they took over half of the world, and that's why America came into Japan, even though Japan wasn't interested. The government is there to push commerce for their own advantage. So people can't be like, yeah, stuff's going around, and our numbers are worse than Italy used to be.
Yeah. we're very good.
I mean,
we're very good at deflection. We're very good at deflection. It's kind of, you have a
This
problem
is
there.
not one of the
Yes,
qualities.
we do have a problem, but it's not as bad as the problem which was caused by someone else 25 years ago. And if they hadn't have caused that problem, the problem today you wouldn't even have realised was a problem. So quite frankly, you should go back to
Absolutely.
then. Oh, I'd love to be a politician. I'm sure I could do it.
I had to talk about my son about psychology and definitions and stuff like that, and I call this a symptom of a deeper psychological issue, which would be also congregated with the passive aggressive tendencies. It would be to deflect, which would show that you have an absolutely narcissistic attitude, and this is your personality disorder.
Well,
that
talking of personality
you're a
disorders,
narcissistic passive aggressive, and this is the way they act.
I heard this on the radio the other day, and a pretty good radio journalist on one of the talk radio stations, and he had a politician on from the opposition, people who aren't in power. And basically he said, well, yeah, what do you make of all of this? What do you think we should do? If there was a golden ticket and you could come up with a solution, what is it that you think that our current government should do?
I got an answer.
Well, basically, this woman, the politician then said, well, of course, this is down to the short-sightedness of our current leadership of the country, and they've been doing a really bad job for the past 10 years, and we don't like the man who's in power because he's got scruffy hair and his dog once
I'm making
peed.
the masturbating sign, but
Yeah.
you can't see it.
And literally went off on a complete rant. And the guy said, look, I get that you're in opposition, and I get,
fucking question.
yeah, and I get that I've just asked you a question, and rather than answer the question, you've just gone for this jugular. Can you just not do it? Is it something that's inherent in being a politician?
Yes,
And to be fair,
actually it is, and it's not about being a politician. It's about working for the government in either a political office, in a medical office, in the police department, in any department that the government runs. They teach them they teach them verbal judo. And verbal judo,
Verbal judo.
you will never get an answer to a question. You will only get a question to a question.
yeah. But I mean,
And again,
they couldn't help themselves. I mean, that was the thing. He actually said, and it was how he framed it with her, and he just basically said, you just can't help yourself, can you? If you're given an opportunity, you take it rather than work together, which is what we all need right now. And he's bang on because we do.
But this is the whole problem with the political entity that it's like, it's like a snake eating its own tail. It comes full circle, and actually, they're all the same, and nothing gets done anyway, no matter who's in charge, except the people get worse off, and they make more money and more illegal legislation and taxation without actual representation for either the English or the American democratic or parliamentary so-called system. Even where I live, it's an absolute shit show because they run it, and you'd better just shut the fuck up and eat it. Like I talked about my brother, his daughter is going in and doing something important and this and that, and I'm like, you know what? The most important thing to remember, like through life, what I learned, and through the military, which is even worse than fucking life, embrace the suck. But how much suck can you embrace, And what I could say to anybody who thinks anything political about anything, don't vote. Just don't vote. And I even posted George Carlin, one of the wisest men in the world and one of the biggest philosopher comedians that there are. And I posted it at a certain time where he talks about why he doesn't talk about politics. Because if you voted, you're part of the problem. I didn't vote. I have the right to complain.
Yeah.
Because the whole thing is that, listen, I've been fighting for a while. I mean, and getting attacked at the hospital twice. I stand up for my shit. No, I'm not going to take it. No, I don't have to. and they don't like it. You understand what I'm saying? They try and make you believe the mythos that is not true, has no basis in fact. And all the actual politicians were the assholes in the village, and they threw them away. They said, get the fuck out of here. We don't want you. And in America, they sent them to a swamp, which used to be Washington. So they were so miserable there, they got eaten by mosquitoes. They didn't have a whole lot of time to do a whole lot of anything.
Well, now the shoe's on the other foot, quite literally.
I think now today, with more videos out and people like listening and maybe looking into what's right and their rights. Even in England, I see a lot of people going, and filming in public and a lot of really stuff that, I mean, you shouldn't even be questioned for, and you got like 6 policemen and you get your information and threatened with the terrorist act and like, who the fuck are you? It's absolutely amazing. And then they put you in a group and you got to wear a sash so people leave you alone. Contrary to where if you wore a sash, then people would go gather you up in a truck. Yeah. So it's the most absurd. And then they always quote, 9/11 or 7/11
they did say,
in England, was it?
They looked up and they did say that, we're probably living in the only society ever where if the trucks actually pulled up outside and said, right, everyone needs to come with us so we can keep you safe from COVID, a lot of people would just get onto these trucks without even questioning it. It's kind of a bit scary, really.
But the whole thing is that if you really deeply think about that kind of, you're a deep thinker, right? What do you think they do at these COVID sites? Do you think they only test you for COVID, or maybe they take your DNA too and they put it in a database and they do what they did for I remember the first time they did it, they took all the men in the village and they made them give their DNA because this little girl was murdered in a field in the 80s. That was like the first time. You know how many civil rights have been abused doing that kind of stuff? And people go, we're getting a COVID test, but they also got your DNA too. Yeah. Now, do you know what they're going to be doing? Again, I'm not paranoid, but you know what? Just because you're paranoid, it does not mean that they're not out to get you, because, I've been gotten. This is what I'm saying. So you never know what they do and what they tell you are 2 totally different things. Everybody's like, oh, you don't do this, you don't do that. No, I quit. I really quit. If my disability owes money, I'm not even going to take the time to argue with them, because what it does to my health is not worth it. And at the end of the year, maybe they catch the mistake, maybe they don't, but they still owe me the money anyway. And I had to eat a little bit more crow this month, let's say. You know what I mean?
I do. What I love about this is that our show is so light-hearted and fun that we don't talk about this real serious, heavy stuff very often. But when we do, man, do we talk about it.
Well, but I don't know. You got to kind of like take it in a lighthearted way, the whole kind of thing. It's like you could tell a story and you could cry in the end, or you could tell a story and you could be like, damn, that's a fucked up story. But yeah, it was, I get the point,
Yeah.
which is kind of the difference, and yeah, crap happens, but yeah, I don't, I don't believe, the original, way is don't believe the hype, and people believe the hype. This is the problem, they believe the hype.
Man, I wish I had Public Enemy lined up now, but I don't, because that would have been an awesome link.
I'll give it to you after. You can mix it in after the next one.
Don't believe the
But
hype.
again, but I'm telling you, a lot of these rappers say things that are truth, and a lot of these comedians say things that are truth, but they say it in a comedic way,
Yes.
or they might say it in a vulgar way. But people have to start to listen. Like everybody, Jay-Z is like, "Oh, you got to get out the vote. Your vote means nothing." It really doesn't, cause Bush won 2 elections that he lost. So, and Trump did the same thing. So how does that work? I don't know.
But I have to say, I mean, I don't understand the whole American voting system, but it's like kind of, as far as I can tell, pretty much the whole country votes, but whatever people in Florida say wins. I think, is that how that works? It's just the most oddest thing.
It kind of could be people in Florida, but they call it like the Electoral College, and that's where all the representatives are, no matter how many people you have in your state, which is like absolutely ridiculous. Because if you remember your history, part of the argument with the Americans and King George was taxation without representation.
Yeah.
And even till today, there is no legal tax law because you are actually not really legitimately represented. I mean, again, the obscurities of the law that is and what actually happens are 2 totally different things. So yeah, your vote means something. No, it doesn't. Take a day off, especially if you get it off for work for voting. Go have a picnic. Seriously, I saw people standing in line, if I'm not mistaken, in Maryland because of all these laws that they decided to pass. 11 and a half hours. Some dude did a marathon watch of this absolutely horrible TV show, and he waited there 11 hours to put a vote in. I mean, come on. I don't know. Never believed in it.
No. Obviously, I would never have guessed from this conversation. I'd have thought that you are a blue-collar Joe.
I was being blatantly obvious. I'm sorry. I was trying to go around the bush, but I guess I didn't succeed very well.
No. There was a beginning and a middle. Tune in next week to find out where this conversation goes.
Nowhere.
Yeah. Brilliant.
It all started from, whatever you said during the beginning about these political women, like
Yes.
bullshitting her way and not
exactly.
answering.
It's going,
goddamn questions.
as the guy said, going for the jugular because that's all they know, and it's kind of
And it's
lost.
ineffective. This is
Yeah.
the horrible part. It's ineffective because they're so.
Well, the thing with the government, it doesn't matter who's in power. Whoever's on the other side of the House of Commons is in opposition. So if one says the sky is blue, then the other one has to say it's red. It doesn't matter if it's right or wrong, but they just have to disagree with whatever the other party says. And it's kind of, no, you're supposed to hold them to account. That's different. Holding people to account.
Accountability, that's like a lecture about accountability, and oh my God, there is no accountability.
Exactly.
Because,
So
again,
but
government workers
it
in
reminds
their
me.
job.
It reminds me of the Python sketch where he goes in and he says, "Is this the room for an argument?" And the guy then says, "I've already told you once." And it's that kind of, he's not answered the question and he's already arguing with you. It's just like, well, there's politics summed up right there.
Exactly, but that's what it represents, to go into a government office and to try and get an answer. No, it's being hit in the head here. Go, wah, wah. Oh, no, wah, wah. Exactly. Because, again, I deal with these government offices, and, man, I'm telling you, I heard a taped conversation, all right, talking about me and what the military plans to do with my paperwork. and the proof of what was and what was and what was. And I was absolutely revolted after 20 seconds when all that you heard with this woman trying to deny everything and disavow everything for absolutely no justifiable reason. And this is when the shit really just like hit the fan and said like, you know what?
Just
Like,
other than the fact that they've got that position of power and they are able to exercise that position of power.
Not only that, I've even tried way back when to get my medical records, and you get your name and your number, and because of what I did, I get it classified.
Yeah, but yours came back with a cover letter saying, "You're still alive?" Question mark, question mark, question mark.
How did you get away? And believe me, it took me 7 years to get out, and I pulled some really nasty tricks the last time, and they had to go look for me for a couple of months.
Did you wear a dress? Come on, be honest. We all want to know. There's 2 minutes of the show left.
I
confess
actually
up.
thought about dressing up in a dress and using a fake ID that I have and getting the fuck out of here just to prove a point. Yeah, I would have done that just to prove a point at that time.
Just for the sheer hell
If
of it.
you can understand what I'm saying.
I do indeed. Right, let's wind this up because we are coming to the last minute of the show now. So
This was fun.
this has been fun. I've really, really enjoyed this evening. That's what we normally say, isn't it? I've really kind of enjoyed this evening. No,
Maybe.
of course. Always enjoyable evening. It doesn't matter what we're talking about. It's one of those interesting things all the time.
Well, you know, bro, life is getting really, really thick for me at this point. And, hey, man, shit. So people see what's going on, and it is what it is, and you try your best, and you put your best foot forward, and you show up for the same show,
Yep.
and you type in the chat box, you hit us up on the Discord, and that makes me and you feel better for the whole week.
Exactly. How many times have I come onto the show and gone, "Oh, I'm not feeling it this week. I feel really tired. I really don't want to do it." And then 20 minutes in, it's like, boom, here we
But
go.
I don't ever remember you saying anything like that, because you know I'm always here to fucking, you know, let's go, man. You need
Exactly.
yourself a beer right now. Let's go.
Exactly. Right, we'll see you guys next week. Thanks for tuning in. Hopefully you've enjoyed our subjects of topic. And even if you didn't, well, hopefully you enjoyed the music. If not, we'll see you all next week and we'll try a little bit harder for you.